I'm a Kentwood resident, and I've lived there for 15 years now. I'm a graduate of Aquinas College. I didn't look like this all times. I was very sick just 3 years ago. I was considered super morbid obese. It was deadly. And I was very unhealthy and wasn't able even to tie my shoes, get into restaurant booths, get in and out the bathtub. I was involved with Streams of Hope before I had bariatric surgery, which was in October 2011. I was invited to go there by my diabetic dietitian because my diabetes was out of control. And they set me up with the NOW program, which set me up with the Streams of Hope Pantry. But the catch is that you have to also join classes, exercise classes, learn about different serving sizes and etc. to keep yourself healthy. They help each person pick out the right foods for their diet. It's the best program. It's the best program for a person that is in need of that because they will help with the resources that they need. You know, their pantries are going to be filled with the best food possible. I was at my daughter's graduation and I couldn't find too much to wear that was nice, but I chose this. This is a 5X woman. The food that Streams of Hope was able to provide me helped me come from this. Her name was Charnette. She passed away at age 44. This is a younger picture of her, a beautiful picture of her. And she suffered from diabetes and obesity and COPD. And she wasn't as big as I was, but we had made a promise that we were going to get healthy and we were going to do whatever it took. I needed to get healthy and I was going to finish what I promised her. There are people that have suffered from some kind of loss. It could be your next door neighbor and it could be you at one time. The first time I went to a food pantry, it was humiliating because you don't know what to expect. With the Streams of Hope Pantry, they made me feel so welcome. And when I got in there, it was no judgment. It's important to know that these food pantries are here for you. Hello, GRCC students and faculty. My name is Michelle Childs, as you have heard in that video. And I'm here today to share my story once again about my struggle with morbid obesity. I do want to start off, however, with a short humorous poem by one of my favorite childhood authors, Shel Silverstein, to kind of give you an idea of what my food addiction behavior was similar to. The poem comes from the book, Where the Sidewalk Ends. Hungry Mungry. Hungry Mungry sat at supper, took his knife and spoon and fork, ate a bowl of mushroom soup, ate a slice of roasted pork, ate a dozen stewed tomatoes, 27 deviled eggs, 15 shrimps, 9 baked potatoes, 32 fried chicken legs, a shank of lamb, a boiled ham, 2 bowls of grits, some black-eyed peas, 4 chocolate shakes, 8 angel cakes, 9 custard pies with Munster cheese, 10 pots of tea, and after he had eaten all that he was able, he poured some broth on the tablecloth and ate the kitchen table. His parents said, "Oh, Hungry Mungry, stop these silly jokes." Mungry opened up his mouth and gulp, he ate his folks. And then he went and ate his house, all the bricks and wood. And then he ate up all the people in the neighborhood. Up came 20 angry policemen shouting, "Stop and seize." Mungry opened up his mouth and gulp, he ate the police. Soldiers came with tanks and guns, said Bungaree, they can't harm me. He just smiled and licked his hips and ate the US Army. The president sent all his bombers. Bungaree was still calm. Put his head back, gulped the planes, and gobbled up the bomb. He ate his town and ate the city, ate and ate and ate. And then he said, I think I'll eat the whole United States. And so he ate Chicago first and munched the water tower. And then he chewed on Pittsburgh, but he found it rather sour. He ate New York and Tennessee and all of Boston town, then drank the Mississippi River just to wash it down. And when he eaten every state, each puppy, boy or girl, he wiped his mouth upon his sleeve and went to eat the world. He ate the Egypt pyramids and every church in Rome, and all the grass in Africa, and all the ice in Nome. He ate each hill in green Brazil, and then to make things worse, he decided for dessert, he'd eat the universe. He started with the moon and the stars, and soon as he was done, he gulped the clouds, he sipped the wind, and he gobbled up the sun. Then sitting there in the cold, dark air, he started to nibble his feet, then his legs, then his hips, then his neck, then his lips, till he sat there gnashing his teeth, 'cause nothing was nothing, nothing was left to eat. Before I get started, I just want to declare that I'm no expert in obesity. I'm no doctor, no dietitian, nutritionist, and I've not studied obesity. I'm just here to relate the condition that I was in back in my past. On the morning of December 19th, 2011, I stepped on a scale at Grand Health Partners, weighing in at 399.6 pounds. Yes. I wore pants that were similar to the pants I'm showing you right now. These pants are a symbol of what it was like for me 2 weeks before I took the risk to have bariatric surgery. I am one of the millions of people in America who suffer from obesity. Even though I've lost 180 pounds, I'm still fighting my way to lose more weight. I have done many things to help assist me with losing weight, which includes bariatric surgery, exercise, diet, and using community resources like Streams of Hope's Now program, which is a nutritional options for wellness program. I also use Grand Health Partners support groups and the Salvation Army Ray and Joan Kroc Center. I'll tell you, without the support of those programs, it would have been difficult for me to change my eating lifestyle. Because you see, bariatric surgery is just a tool to help lose weight. However, in order to lose an excessive weight, you must change your mental attitude. You also have to learn to soothe yourself without food. I do highly recommend this book called 50 Ways to Soothe Yourself by Susan Albers. There are 50 ways to soothe yourself without food. I've always been asked numerous questions all the time regarding my weight loss story. How did you get so big? Why did you get yourself that way? Weren't you just able to lose a few pounds by eating a few vegetables before having surgery? Why did you have bariatric surgery? That's a cheating way to lose weight. I also get statements like, fat people are just lazy. Fat people just need to get off the couch and just start moving. Believe me, I have heard it all. Like myself, I imagine a lot of obese and overweight people look themselves in a mirror. And when they do, they ask themselves, why can't I just lose weight? As an overweight or obese person in the United States, you are consistently bombarded with images of people who are normal sized or thin, being happy, able to eat anything, able to do many physical activities, able to have money and status, and even able to wear those designer clothing. Social media, TV, and magazines consistently make those that are fat or corpulent feel less desirable. Therefore, it's hard for one with a weight problem to get in a mindset of loving thyself, which is needed to begin the process of losing weight. Furthermore, I should mention many overweight and obese people suffer from mental and physical health issues, making it hard to focus on a long weight journey and or the ability to work out in front of others at the local gym. Being of larger size brings on sometimes major depression and emotional distress, which often leads to soothing behaviors like going for comfort foods high in carbohydrates instead of eating fresh fruits, lean protein, low-fat foods, and vegetables. Sometimes being obese limits your ability to get a job or move up in the company that you belong to, which of course makes it hard to live financially. Being overweight or obese for long periods of time will not only cost the health insurance companies in the long run, but also the individual with the problem. One pays higher for clothing, medicines, life insurance, etc., etc. Please know that there is discrimination against those with a significant weight problem. There are some facts about obesity that I would like to mention so that you know the real issue of the piece of American pie. If you Google the definition of obesity, it states that it is a disorder involving excessive body fat that increases the risk of health problems. Obesity has reached epidemic proportions globally, with at least 2.8 million people dying each year as a result of being overweight or obese. My second cousin, James Clark, was one of them. He was 20 years old, about the same age as some of you, a valedictorian of his high school, but he died of heart failure in a nursing home, weighing over 600 pounds. According to the Project A Trust for America's Health and Robert Wood Foundation, there are some facts about the state of obesity and related diseases in America. Number one, the 10 states with the highest obesity are all in the South and Midwest. Michigan is 17th. 22 states have an obesity rate of 30% and higher. Arkansas, West Virginia, and Mississippi have the highest adult obesity rate, which is over 35%. Most states with the lowest obesity rates are in the Northeast and the West. 34.9% of American adults are obese, and 68.6% are obese or overweight. In my age group, nearly 40% of American adults ages 40 to 59 are obese. All of the 12 states with the highest rates of hypertension are in the South. 82% of Black women like myself 82% are overweight compared to 63.2% of white women. 77.2% of Latino women are overweight or obese compared to 63.2% of white women. In the United States, 47.8% Black adults, 42.5% of Latinos are obese compared to 32.6% of white adults. That shows you that there is like a racial disparity. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention states more than 2/3 of the United States are obese. The sad part is that even after losing a lot of weight like I did, I am still part of that statistic. Your BMI must be less than 25 to be of normal weight. Your BMI is your body mass index. Now I would like to explain to you about my life story with the struggle of morbid obesity. My life before bariatric surgery in 2012 was no fairy tale. I came into this world back in the early 1970s, weighing in at 9 pounds and 6 ounces. My mother at that time may have had gestational diabetes, which is commonly addressed nowadays with pregnant women, but not back then. I also came into this world with genes from an overweight family, both on my maternal and paternal side. Thus, I endured being overweight most of my childhood. My mother and father, who were teachers and did not cook, often would take me to McDonald's, my favorite place to eat. I would take in 2 cheeseburgers, double cheeseburgers, a large fry, an apple pie, and that Hi-C orange drink. You know, taking in way too many calories for a child 10 and under. Even though McDonald's in the 1970s and 80s, in my opinion, was more tastier then, it still was not good for a child or adult to eat there all the time. And that includes all the other fast food chains that I was accustomed to as a child. Due to that, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I was targeted with name calling, bullying for being overweight. Most children back then were not as large as they are today. I was often left alone, hardly any friends in school. I was always the last one picked for gym class. Thus, I didn't grow up with a happy childhood, and I didn't develop a great self-esteem about myself. And this is what contributed to my food addiction behaviors greatly, and also the significant other that I chose later in my life. During my 8th grade year, back 30 years ago, I decided that I had enough of the teasing and being called the big girl in class. Also, I was going through adolescence, and there happened to be this cute boy who I took interest in. However, he made a comment in February 1985 that I would never forget. It made me go on my first diet. A diet that was not very healthy at all. A diet that meant starving yourself, taking diet pills, and eating a half a meal of a day. I would hide often in the library during lunch at school to avoid food. I would skip breakfast first, and then for dinner, eat something less than 500 calories. I thought this was the way to be accepted into society. At that time, I just wanted to get into some Guess jeans. This first attempt, of course you know, was not successful. I didn't know that the way I lost weight was not good for my metabolism, and it didn't change my eating habits. I also was losing weight to be accepted by others, and I didn't lose weight for myself. So you wonder, what happened after my first weight loss story as a teenager? Well, like many others, who don't break their bad habits, my weight gain came back steadily, starting in my early 20s. As a young adult, my life became very stressful. I was involved in a bad relationship that started in high school, and I became pregnant in my junior year of college. Unfortunately, I turned to food again for comfort, but this time I increased in bad foods, and I was eating a lot, and I drank more soda. I finished college as a single mother on welfare, but I had to quickly take a position within a call center at a bank, making only $7.25 an hour at that time. No one was appearing to hire a single mother, a heavy-set single mother. So I had to take on 2 jobs because my significant other was in and out of my life, as well as my daughters. The problem with the call center type of job is that even though it was better than welfare, it was not good for the welfare of my body. The reason why is that you sit for long periods of time, it's completely stressful, and you take irate calls. I did this for a 12-year period at different call center jobs. I gained over 100 pounds. I constantly ate at my desk, and I would eat alone due to being ashamed of my weight. I was often ostracized by my own coworkers and my supervisors. All I wanted to do with my hard days at work was put money into that vending machine for extra chips and soda. By the time my second daughter was born in 1999, I was very close to 300 pounds. Once you get close to 300 pounds as a female, it becomes very hard to lose weight. Sometimes it's hard to move due to physical health conditions. By the time I was in my 30s, I had many chronic health conditions that come along with obesity, such as diabetes, osteoarthritis, hypertension, sleep apnea, major depression, and other issues. I was only 34 years old when I was asked by a store to get a senior citizen discount because obviously my weight had changed my appearance. Sadly, Grandma became a name for me, even though my kids were still young. The first step I took into my weight loss journey was way before my actual bariatric surgery. In 2007, after years of enduring physical and emotional abuse by my significant other, I finally got that courage to leave. I quickly got involved in therapy. Therapy is a tool that helped me to look further into myself and why my self-esteem was so low since childhood. However, it took my close friend that was shown in the video to die at age 40 for me to make a decision to change my life with losing weight. I finally took the advice of both my diabetic dietitian, Carolyn Besito, and Samir Kaban, a local restaurant owner. And I decided to take the risk and have bariatric surgery. I don't recommend this surgery for everyone, but for me, it was the best decision I made in my life. Since my BMI, my body mass index, was 66% deadly body fat. You are what you eat is what I had become at age 40. I decided that I wanted to live longer, beyond the age of 45, which is what the doctors predicted as my death date. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be 45 in January. Just 4 years ago, thank you. Just 4 years ago, I could not tie my shoes, or sit in a restaurant booth, or even fasten my seatbelt in my own vehicle. And I had to use one of those electric carts to get around a store the size of Myers. Today, however, I walk 1 to 3 miles per day. I can roller skate. I hula hoop. I enjoy swimming. And I can keep up with my daughters ages 16 and 23. I enjoy eating healthier, and I try to practice other ways of soothing myself without food. However, I am considered an emotional eater, and therefore, I have to work with the food addiction behavior for the rest of my life every day. I just want you to realize today that you can be of help to someone who's obese or overweight by being a great support person. A lot of times when I was a larger size, I was totally isolated from the world. Many other overweight and obese people feel the same way, especially during these holidays. In addition, I would like to say that if you are overweight or obese, or you know someone that is, you have many options to look into with helping you to lose weight. But please, get advice from a medical professional before doing a weight loss journey. Because obesity is preventable and it's treatable. Thank you, GRCC students and faculty, for giving me this opportunity to share my story. And I would like you to remember this quote from another favorite author of mine, Anna Thomas. We all eat, and it would be a sad waste of opportunity to eat badly. Thank you. I just want to let you know there are a lot of other community resources to help with losing weight, like the Kroc Center, Streams of Hope Pantry, which has the Now program. But there's also a lot of fitness things through Metro Health and Spectrum Health, which you can take like a lot of classes for exercise or nutrition. If you want to know about diabetes, Metro Health and Spectrum Health have those. There's a lot of, if you call 211, you can ask where there's other free exercise classes are around town. There's a lot of other information here in regards of how to eat less. There's also other things about other addiction behaviors like alcohol and things like that with mental health. I would like to answer any questions if you have any. There's a poster of what I've been through, my journey, my weight loss journey of losing 180 pounds. And even though I have bariatric surgery, I'm just letting you know it's a lot of hard work. You gotta keep focused. You gotta stay focused. I have this on my refrigerator at all times to stay focused, 10 ways to stay motivated, so that I won't go back to that almost 400 pound woman that you see in that picture in the middle. But if there's any questions about things, like I said, I'm not no expert, but I can answer some questions. If you like to, you can take the time, and I'll be here to answer any questions. And if you don't, that's okay too. Have a good holiday season, and keep limit to your portions on Thursday. Thank you. Yes, you. Oh yes, there is I did forget that there is a holiday contest at Metro Health Conference Center in which you can go get weighed. The last day is today at 5:30, I believe. You can go get on the scale, and they will measure your BMI and your weight. And if you don't gain any weight in the holiday season, you can at least maintain your weight, but if you don't gain any weight, you can be entered into a contest, because they will weigh you in January after the holiday season is over. And if you don't gain any weight, or if you lose weight, you'll be entered into a contest to win a gift certificate. I won that first year. So anyways, thank you. And there's also other programs that are coming up January 1st, as you know, so look out for them if you really want to get some weight off, or you know somebody who is in need of getting the weight off. If you know of someone who is super morbidly obese, I do recommend that they go to Grand Health Partners, because Dr. Randall Baker does work with people who have really large BMIs. You can have the surgery, or you can have the medical weight loss. There's 6 different options of gastric bypass surgery now, or actually there's more than 6 now. But anyways, yeah, you can go through that program and they will help you like they helped me to lose weight. And thank you so much. I appreciate it.